What's happening, guys? This is Justin and your Two-Way Tuesday for November 5th, 2019. I wanted to, first and foremost, thank you for your participation in Paul's Car Wash. That was one of the things that I'm supposed to mention this week specifically, is our participation in the Month of Impact. And I'm going to give us credit for it because we, as a group, went out last week, the week before last, and participated in Paul's Car Wash. So thank you for that. Hopefully you had a good time. I know I covered that in our last Two-Way Tuesday, but wanted to remind you again that you make a difference, especially in those volunteer days and hours. So thank you for that. We've got to talk a little bit about priorities, specifically with the shift in business that we've got going on. So it's interesting because yesterday was one of our slowest days that I've ever seen. And today is not. So we need to make sure that we're not taking an excessive amount of time on days that we're super slow, because there are going to be days where we're not, and it's going to require some longer hours. So I want to make sure that we're keeping that productivity up. I do want to make sure that I talk a little bit about the flexibility and the need. And I know I've talked about it before. The one takeaway from today that I really need you to grasp is going to be call aheads. I've talked about them before. I've asked that you do them before. I'm again telling you, you gotta do them. The way that we're leaving capacity open right now, there's going to be days where I know there were a couple of technicians that had like 4 a.m. jobs. That's tough, especially with the amount of driving that we've got going on. But as a technician, you need to be able to kind of handle that situation by doing call aheads. Call aheads are how you're going to help that. Why? Well, when I go in and I look at some of the routes, one of them, for example, had in the location description, one was like the DES office, and the other was like a police department. That should be a trigger for you to say, hey, this person isn't just going to be there from 8 to noon. I need to do a call ahead to see how long they're there that day. And I think the call ahead isn't so much to say, hey, I'm so sorry, I got screwed by the office, I'm going to be late. It's, hey, I understand you're at a workplace. What time are you there till today? I've got some challenges in my schedule. I just want to make sure that I meet your criteria. If the customer says, oh, I want it done before I go to lunch at noon, make it happen, Captain. If you need help with that, give me a call. But more likely than not, you're going to get the person that says, yeah, I'm here till 5, I'm here till 4. That's much easier to work with. And by you doing a call ahead, it prevents a frustrated customer when noon rolls around and you just got to your 3rd job and you haven't called them. That's creating issues because they're calling the office, and it's a bad customer experience when they've expected you before noon and we haven't communicated anything. So the big takeaway is that you need to be proactive to do your call aheads. And don't think that by calling you're going to get, oh my gosh, I'm going to get yelled at. It's all in a matter of presentation. Hey, I show you're at a workplace, or asking an open-ended question like, hey, what does your schedule look like today? Helps customers. If they say, man, I've got a bunch of stuff I've got to do this morning, I need you here as soon as you can. Okay, well, would it be easier if you went and ran your errands and I came a little bit later? What works best for you? Do I need to come right now? Work with your customers, but you've got to communicate. You don't have to narrow down the time frame. For some technicians, that is helpful. But the worst thing that you can do right now is just not to call. Is to think, oh my gosh, I've got to get on the road. I've got these 4 a.m.s, or I've got whatever. You have to communicate. I'm holding you responsible to communicate with our customers. Call aheads aren't optional, they're required. Capiche? Cool. So that's your one big takeaway from today. There's a video on the hub. We've got some interesting services coming out of San Francisco here soon. It's called AAA House Manager. The way that I kind of described it to the team earlier is it's kind of a merger between the best of both worlds, between home ownership and apartment living. And I say that because when you live in an apartment, everything's covered. All the maintenance is done. You have a handyman that comes in. Well, that's kind of what House Manager is. House Manager is helping you to be proactive with a house. It's a subscription service that you pay for, and they come out and they kind of give you an assessment of things like your hot water heater, or maybe even the condition of your roof, was kind of what I gather from the video. So it's an interesting video. Check it out. Again, that's on the hub regarding House Manager. There's going to be some new member data protection, a notification that goes out on the 7th. When you log into one login, it's going to require you to at least accept that. Just know that you're going to have some extra reading to do on the 7th. It's just regarding, again, member data protection. It should be common sense stuff, but we're making sure that we get all that buttoned up so that we have absolutely no issues whatsoever regarding member information. What else we got going on? Talent Tuesday, did you know the referral bonus award? It starts at $300 and goes all the way up to $5,000 per hire. It's pretty cool. The stipulation being, 1, they have to make sure that they mark you as a referral. 2, they have to be here 180 days. We had somebody get caught on the wrong end of that here recently, and I feel terrible, but 180 days, they got to be here for it. So we've got some positions, a lot in Walnut Creek. Manager autonomous vehicle business development, an outside sales insurance agent out of Scottsdale. What else we got going on? Oh, if you didn't see my other video, we still have our inventory / CSR position open here, as well as a technician role as well. So a lot going on, a lot for you to potentially be eligible for a referral bonus. So make sure you spread the word. Cool. Beyond that, let's see what else I got. One thing that Vivian wanted me to kind of cover with the team, because she's new to dispatching. When you're looking at the jobs and the schedule that she has you going on to go to those jobs, and really whether it's Vivian, whether it's anybody, that's a recommendation. It's still up to you to look at that schedule and say, well, no, I think this is going to work out a little bit better if I do it this way. I want you to feel empowered to do that. It's not set in stone. It goes back to what I just talked about earlier, communicating with your customers. So if you think there's a better way to run the route, do it. You've just got to communicate again with those customers and make sure that they know what you're doing. And beyond that, guys, that's it. I know I say this a lot. That was short and sweet. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I have for the good of the cause. No, that is it. So make sure you text me with your one big takeaway to the group message today. Hopefully the speaker's still holding up well for us. But beyond that, have a great week. Stay cool, or depending on the day at this point, stay warm, stay busy, and we'll see you when you see you.